So in the last class we started with the UVM, okay. So that what is UVM and how the UVM structure will be there, okay. Basics of so evolution of UVM SV to advanced methodologies so we already seen the introduction to UVM, okay. All those things we already seen, okay. And UVM structure, test bench architecture we already seen, and UVM components. And UVM objects. This is how the UVM test bench will look like, okay. And what are UVM agents, okay, UVM components, okay. And types of UVM agents. There are active agents and passive agents, okay. And UVM factory also we already seen. UVM factory means like you need to suppose if you are accessing any driver or monitor and those things, you need to register in the factory, okay. That I told you, okay. So this is a fundamental part of universal verification methodology, okay. And this we already seen, and the key features of UVM we already seen, and overriding. So need for UVM means overriding. Overriding means what we are replacing one component with the other component. Okay, that is nothing but overriding. Okay, you are replacing one component with the other component, and how you write that. So that means if you want to write that, so you need to write class my underscore component extends UVM underscore component, and you need to use type def, okay. Type def is nothing but in SV we already seen. Type def is nothing but we can represent, means we can replace with one data type, okay. So we can replace, suppose if I consider int suppose int a is there, okay. Int a, so that means type def type def a means a is acting as int data type, okay. So like that here I am using type def. Type def means about here class is one data type, no. So I am replacing with this type def, okay. Again static function type underscore id get type and return. Okay. This whole function I can write with this registration, means with one macros I explained, okay. For the component I can use tick UVM component utils, okay. With this one macro, okay, I can initialize, okay. So that we already seen in this last class, okay. so so today we discuss so some more topics, okay. Yeah. So here if you see, suppose so let us take class driver extends, okay. How I am writing means extends UVM underscore driver. So here what I am doing, I am using a macro, okay. So which macro I am using? So that means tick UVM underscore component underscore utils, okay. I am using utils driver, okay, utils driver, okay. So that means here when I am writing this, so it will so it will go into id, okay. It will go into, so it will allocate one id, okay. So that means that id is there in where UVM factory, okay. So it will allocate some UVM registry, okay. So UVM underscore registry and component, okay. Register and component, okay. So normally like in SV, so we already seen in SV how we are how we are creating the object. Suppose we already seen the oops concept, no. How we are creating an object. So first we wrote the like properties, that means we declared the data types. After that we created the handle, and after that we created the object, okay. How you created, that means we created with a function called new, okay. But here so that means so suppose if we are using this new in UVM, we are using this new in UVM, and, here factory overriding is not happen, will not happen, okay. So factory overriding. So for overriding is not happen in the UVM. Okay, not happen in the UVM. Okay, factory overriding is nothing but what you are changing from one component to other component. That is nothing but factory overriding. Okay, so which keyword you are using means so in UVM, you are using a keyword. You are using a keyword create. In place of new, you are using a keyword called create. Okay, this is the keyword you are using. Okay, so this is nothing but we call as factory method. Factory method. Okay, this keyword we call as factory method. Okay, so basically in SV we are using what we are using this new keyword. Okay, but in UVM we are using a keyword called create. Okay, for creating an instance we are using this keyword. Okay, so this is about the formation of this keyword. And next next, yeah, yeah. so first we need to create virtual class in library. Okay, we need to create the virtual class in library. Okay, so before that you need to know about the meaning of this, what is virtual function and virtual class. Okay, so virtual means first virtual function we'll see. Virtual function, so virtual function is nothing but like this is a prototype without any body. Okay, this is nothing but this is one prototype without any body. Without any body is nothing but virtual function. Okay, and what is virtual class? Virtual class is it's like we can extend it but we cannot create the object. Okay, we can extend the class. Okay, we can extend you can extend it, but we cannot create the object. Okay, so we cannot create the object. That is nothing but what that is nothing but virtual class. Okay, so basically like you have basically you have UVM object. Okay, and it is point to UVM report object. Okay, report object, and next it will point to UVM component, UVM underscore component. Okay, UVM component, and next it will point to UVM driver, UVM underscore driver. Okay, so so we are using what so we are using a virtual function. Okay, in this we are using a virtual function. So that means we are using a function called new. Okay, so we are using a virtual function. Virtual function means I told you, no. So what is this virtual function? Virtual function is nothing but it's a prototype without any body. Okay, so without any body, these are nothing but virtual function. Okay, so 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 that means what we can so virtual function, whatever the virtual function, pure virtual function, this is nothing but we call as pure virtual function. Pure virtual function uh, must be overridden, otherwise you are going to be getting an error. Okay, so whatever this virtual function is there, this can be overridden. Okay, so overridden, otherwise you are getting an error. Okay, otherwise you are getting an error. Okay, so we can extend. Okay, we cannot, so that means in UVM, so basically like in SV what we did, so we created the handle. Okay, so we created the handle, and after that for the handle we created the instance, but in the UVM we cannot create the instance for UVM driver. Okay, so in UVM we cannot create the instance. You cannot create the instance or object. Cannot create the instance or objects for UVM driver. UVM driver. Okay, UVM driver. So how we are writing means, so UVM underscore driver underscore, let us take v dot class, okay, some pure function new, and some lines of code, and end function. Okay, so like this we are writing the code. Okay, so here so how we are writing for this for driver means, here I will tell you, like class driver extends. Okay, okay, UVM driver, UVM underscore driver. Okay, this is the method to inherit the child class from the parent class, no? So class driver extends UVM underscore driver. Okay, next you need to use a function new, and here you need to write name comma parent, okay, and you need to use super dot new name comma parent, okay, so name comma parent, and end function, okay, end function. So okay, so that means this is a syntax you need to follow. You need to follow. Okay, this is the syntax. Okay, after that what you are writing, so class driver extends UVM underscore driver, and I am using function, so function, so driver this super dot new is name comma parent, okay. So like this we need to do. Okay, so normally like so what you are doing, like so you have test, and in this there is an environment, and in this environment you are writing for the driver, okay. So normally like in SV, so in SV what you did, so like for the driver, okay, so in SV when you are writing for the test bench, okay, in SV how you write, like my underscore driver you are writing drv, no, we are writing drv, and drv equal to what, drv equal to this is instance, okay, my underscore driver drv. So this instance equal to what, you are creating the object or instance, okay. So this is your handle, okay, not instance, this is my handle, okay. So this, like this you wrote in the SV, okay, but in UVM how we are writing means, here so you need to write like this, my underscore driver drv, okay, this is my handle, drv equal to my underscore driver and scope resolution operator, and type id, and next create. I need to create, so I told you, no, so in place of new, so that means this is the new for creating the instance, but in the UVM we are not creating the new, okay, we are not using new. So if you are using new, so you are not going to make the overriding, okay. So in the UVM you are using a keyword called, I told you, no, you are using a keyword called new, You're using a keyword called new. Okay, so create and drv this. Okay, drv this. Okay, and next, so next so in this, so in this UVM I'm writing the code. Okay, I will show you in the EDA playground also. So class driver extends UVM underscore driver I'm using type def. Okay, type def UVM underscore here I need to register in the factory, so for that I will use type def UVM underscore that is registry ash driver. Okay, and I'm using, that means type ID. Okay, so function, I'm using a function type ID, type underscore ID, get function. Okay, and next return, I need to, for every function there is a return, no? Return type ID, type underscore ID, scope resolution operator, get and so get function. Okay, and end function. Okay, so that means here when you are writing this macros, okay, this macro, so this tick UVM component, utils driver, then ID will be created. Your ID will be created in the UVM Factory. Okay, ID will be created. Okay, so next what I am doing, what I am writing here, see here, so my underscore driver drv, so driver drv equal to what, my underscore driver scope resolution operator, type ID and create. Okay, so this is nothing but drv this. Okay, so that means here this is nothing but what, this is my driver is nothing but it's a class. This is a class. Okay, and create is nothing but what, method. Okay, it's like a function only, method. Okay, and this drv is nothing but what, handle. Okay, so means what, here how I'm writing, how I'm instance, it means how I'm making the object means by using a keyword called create. Okay, by using a keyword called create. Okay, so here so what happens, this driver is there, no? So where is my driver? Driver is assigned to, driver equal to this driver is assigned to drv. Okay, suppose if you write like this, so here driver drv create. Okay, so drv equal to driver scope resolution operator UVM underscore registry ash driver. Okay, ash driver, and here I will use again scope resolution operator and create. Okay, so here what happens means this driver, so whatever the driver is there, that driver is assigned to this handle drv. Okay, driver is assigned to drv. Here also drv, so here this drv is assigned to this handle is assigned to drv. Okay, so like this. Okay, like this we need to write the program for driver. Okay, driver. Okay, so here if you see the ppt, so that means UVM component and UVM object constructors are virtual methods. Okay, so these UVM components and UVM component virtual methods I told you, no. So virtual functions. What are the virtual functions? Virtual functions are nothing but this can be overridden, and virtual function is nothing but it's a prototype with without any object. Those are nothing but virtual functions. Okay. So UVM component and UVM objects have the virtual constructors. Okay, in this sense, their classes must be used specific constructor, that signature. Okay, it will follow standard prototype. So like this I wrote. Okay, for component, how I wrote class my component extends UVM component. Okay, and function string name equal to what my component, and UVM component parent equal to what null. Okay, and super dot new equal new name comma parent and end function. Okay, so this only I wrote. For the component I wrote this function. Okay, for the object, how I wrote class my item extends UVM sequence item. So function new string name equal to my item super dot new name and end function. Okay, this is for object. Okay, so this is for component you need to write, and this is for object you need to write. Okay, and next, so like this. So function new string name equal to what driver. Okay, so string name equal to, here I am writing what in place of this my component I am writing driver. Okay, and UVM component equal to what null I am writing. Okay, and transaction, this is nothing but what transaction. Okay, so this is my driver. Okay, for this component, so I am writing for driver. Okay, and this is for what transaction. This I am writing for transaction. Okay, so that means here same thing whatever I told. Okay, so create I told you, know. So like create is a method. So create, so in SV you are using what a new method. Okay, for creating an object or instance we are we are using new, but in UVM we are using a keyword called create. Keyword called create. Okay, create method is a factory method used to construct an object or component. Okay, dynamically during the simulation. Okay, without directly calling the constructor new yourself. Okay, so that means it is a part of factory pattern. Okay, which allows the flexible and overridable construction. Okay, so that means in SV you are using new, but in UVM you are using a keyword called create for creating an object or instance. Okay, so UVM components, how we are writing, first you need to write the handle, no. So my driver drv. Okay, this is my handle. Okay, after that what drv equal to my driver scope resolution operator type id, and type id create drv this. Okay, so this is nothing but how we are writing in the UVM. Okay, and so here I'll show you one program how to write this one. Okay, so basically like when you are writing the program in the for this UVM, so you need to use the two header files. Okay, what are this? You need to include that header files. Either it may be Costa-Sim or EDA Playground. You need to use two header files. Okay, first header file is tick include UVM macro. Okay, you need to include the macros dot svh. Okay, so this is a standard library. Okay, this is there in the standard library. Okay, this header file you need to include. Okay, one more thing, if we import UVM underscore package UVM underscore, this is one second, this is, yeah, this is pkg scope resolution operator and star backslash. Okay, so like this we need to include. Okay, so I wrote the program for simple, like see here, one second. example 1 I wrote. So if you see here, so I need to use what, so tick include UVM macros dot svh. Okay, this is one header file. And next header file, what I need to do, import UVM package scope resolution operator star. Okay, forward slash is not there. Import UVM underscore package scope resolution operator star. Okay, and how I am writing class driver extends UVM underscore driver ash, and this is nothing but in the ash what I wrote, UVM sequence item. Okay, UVM underscore sequence underscore item. So I'm initializing what, int a. Okay, int a. I need to create one ID, no? So I need to create one ID in the factory. How I am creating? I need to create by using a macros. Okay, so tick UVM underscore components utils driver. Okay, so after that I'm writing the function for the constructor. Okay, how I am writing function new string name equal to what, driver UVM underscore component parent equal to what, null. Okay, and next what I am writing, super dot new name comma parent and end function. Okay, here I am writing the function. Okay, and next end class. So I created the class, no, end class. Okay, after that I am writing, so module TB initial begin. So driver DRV, this is nothing but what, handle. Okay, so this is nothing but handle, driver DRV, this is handle. For this handle I need to create an object, no? So creating an object in UVM Factory. How I am creating the object, DRV equal to driver scope resolution operator type underscore ID. Okay, I need to use a keyword called create. Okay, create DRV comma null. Okay, create DRV comma null. Okay, this is nothing but creating the object. This is nothing but handle, and for this handle I am creating the object. Okay, and drv dot a equal to what, 10, and dollar I want to display this value, dollar display drv dot a equal to is percentage d drv dot a and end module. Okay, so this is I wrote for this driver. Okay, I wrote for class. Okay, so I wrote for class and I used the macros and I wrote the functions. Okay, functions and end class. Okay, so after that so with the help of this class I am like same as that objects oops only. So I created the handle and created the object. After that I am initializing drv.a equal to 10. Okay, and displaying this value. Okay, so this we will see. Okay, so just copy this and if you save. Okay, I'm opening EDA playground. And next here so languages and library. Okay, languages and libraries. Here UVM you select this one IEEE 1800 to 2017 also you can select, or UVM 1.2 also you can select. Okay, and save this. Okay, you copy this. Okay, you will paste this. Okay, so we'll execute this. Okay, what we are getting. Okay, you need to use tools and language and tools. Okay, language tools and simulators, Aldec Rivera. Run this. Yeah, see here I got the output drv.a is what, 10. Okay, drv.a equal to what, 10. Okay, so like this we can run the program. Okay, this overriding from one component to other component I will tell you in the next class. Okay, so this is about how we are writing the program for driver. Okay, first so for any program you need to initialize two header files. So tick include UVM macros.svh, import UVM package scope resolution operator star, and class, this is the class function. Okay, class driver. Okay, class driver extends driver UVM underscore driver UVM underscore sequence underscore item int a, and I am using a macros. This is nothing but macros. We are writing UVM underscore component underscore utils. Okay, that 4 lines of code. So with one macro I can write. Okay, so again function function I am writing function, this function and end class. So till here this is class. After that I am calling this class, so I am making one handle, and after that I am creating the object with a keyword called create, and I am initializing the value 10 and displaying this value. Okay, so this is about the simple program related to UVM driver. Okay, so for UVM driver.